Major renovations at the Nyayo Stadium are taking place, and of course, you all know that Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania will be hosting the African Cup of Nations in the joint Pamoja bid. That, of course, will be in 2027. And already infrastructure development is very key in the region. My name is Brian, and this is Brianetic Sports. I'm here to discuss what is happening in Kenya, of course, in regards to the new latest, as well as the structural designs that have really been released, especially to do with Nyayo Stadium. And of course, we shall be discussing as well something to do with Uganda, the Mandela National Stadium, answering a few questions that have been raised, especially in the previous videos. But already the pictures are showing upgrades as well as renovation works, especially on the tartan. It is being laid and it's looking better and big as well. There is already time for the stadium to really be put to their best. And you all know that, of course, it is supposed to be roofed, and I've seen already structural designs of how it's going to be looking as it's supposed to be looking, especially when it is having covered stands. You remember that it was a 30,000 capacity seater. The seating, that is a capacity, was reduced to 18,000 because of the seating arrangements and a few things that were done. Usually these stadiums have a capacity, bigger capacity, but when they start installing the seats and when you start going through the requirements by CAF or FIFA, then some of the spaces in those seats are reduced. That is also another issue that the likes of Talanta Stadium really faced. You remember it was a 60,000 capacity stadium. Now the capacity was reduced to 48,000, and I've seen a lot of Kenyans coming in and arguing why that, but all these are technicalities. Usually some of the old-fashioned stadiums were designed without calculating, of course, the seating structure. So that is why even the Mandela National Stadium here in Uganda, it was 45,000 capacity, but it was reduced to something like 38. It really, it's something that has been happening around. So good structural works going on, and we expect them to be completed soon. Not only is the design for the Nyayo Stadium already out, but also know that the Talanta Sports City Stadium is also taking shape. I've seen a lot of questions, of course, coming in from fans. I've even seen media houses coming in and questioning how much was spent vis-a-vis other stadiums of the same capacity around Africa, how much was spent on the Talanta Sports City and its construction. I don't really want to go into the details and why some countries have a bigger cost of productions as compared to others. A lot of people are saying Kenya has a hub. If at all they want to import materials, there is no extra cost. But let me tell you something, the cost of doing business in Uganda are not the same cost of doing business in South Africa or Kenya or Algeria or any other countries. So let us go with exactly what was given to us. And sometimes I don't even care when it's government money, because if at all it's not even put to good use, you'll find other people coming in and using it for uses that are not even benefiting the public. So I'm caring less, especially because even if they don't use it there, they will not have used it elsewhere. Sometimes that is one of the few things that I really hate. If you don't use the money here, then you don't substitute the usage to something else. So I would really prefer infrastructure development, and we are seeing also the road network being worked on already. Kenya has the best, as well as Tanzania, the best railway systems. So that is already infrastructure that is already improved in there. So as compared to a country like Uganda, and of course there is also a new stadium that is also under construction, a 10,000 capacity stadium that is all the way in Kitui County. It is called the Ithookwe Stadium, and it is going to be hosting the Mashujaa celebration that is already on. Mashujaa, that is heroes. So we're expecting that stadium to be completed soon. Already works is ongoing, and we expect it to be one of the better stadiums in there. Of course, it's part of the bigger plan of constructing over 30 stadiums around the country that Mr. Ruto and his government really pledged to do in bid to promote sports around, of course, Kenya in there. So it is something that I think is going to be very good, and I've seen a lot of Kenyans coming in on social media, coming out and comparing. I showed pictures of that is at the Hoima Stadium, and people have been coming out, and of course through various social media handles, when they look at the designs of the Talanta Sports City, they look at the designs of other stadiums around the world, and then they look at Hoima City Stadium. They're asking themselves, why don't the contractors at least borrow a relief from smaller stadiums like the Hoima City Stadium? It is small but beautiful, upgraded and up to date when it comes to everything that happens there. So a smaller stadium like Nyayo Stadium, the question would be, will it be upgraded to the level of the likes of that is the Hoima Stadium or the Kibwa Stadium? We are waiting to see whether that will happen as well in there. And of course, not only is the development in Uganda, in Kenya, but also here in Uganda, there have been queries. I've seen a lot of people coming out and asking about the renovations of the Mandela National Stadium, whether there are going to be improvements on the outer look and all that stuff. I really think with the way, if at all they, because we don't have a lot of confirmed reports around there, we have media houses coming in, a few of them coming out and talking about these reports, but we all know that there's going to be a third phase, which was talked about and it was confirmed by the minister. But exactly what is going to be done in the third phase sometimes is not out. It's not going to be, it's not news that is being given to us just openly, just like that. So we're waiting to see a detailed, paper of exactly what will be done. But of course, the talk was about the capacity going all the way from the 40,000 capacity all the way to the 60,000. And if at all that will be done, then that means that the outer look of the stadium will be changing, because you all know for you to add 20,000 in capacity when it comes to seats, that means there has to be an elevations to have another tier, because already there's already an existing lower tier that cannot be added on something else. So all you need to do is elevate it a little bit more. And when stadiums are constructed, what they do is for them to put another tier, they extend the construction a little bit outward. They leave the existing track structure in there. We've seen this in the newly renovated stadium, that is the Namboole Stadium. What they did, they didn't destroy the existing structure, but they added another tier which really was constructed outward, and that gave room for other rooms, for example, for media, for all that stuff, dressing rooms, more dressing rooms, and a top tier was really constructed. We've seen even in renovations of bigger stadiums like the Etihad Stadium. We've seen at the Anfield as well, those stands that are elevated, what they do, they can even construct while the stadium is actively having matches. But here in Uganda, that might not be the case. All the games are going to be shifted all the way to the Hoima Stadium, so that will give room at least for the stadium to have very fast work. So you expect an outer face improvement, a new design, and if at all the construction company called Suma is given the job, with rumors already confirming that they are going to be taking on the construction. Of course, they are going to be given the job by the UPDF, who are in charge of the renovation of the stadium, but the designs, of course, should be matching Uganda theme colors, the tradition and all that stuff, just like you saw in Hoima Stadium. So for those people that have been asking, is there going to be a change in the look? Yes, if at all they are going to be adding the capacity, the look will have to change in one way or another, because a new tier will be constructed. That means from where you've been getting into the stairs of the stadium, an extension will be constructed to support the upper structure, because that is how it's done, for you to really have at least better capacity. Of course, cultural motifs as well to be kind of like included in there. But of course, the plans and the upgrade, structure designs have not really been released. So we are waiting to see when they will be released. But we expect it to be a little bit of a change. It's not an easy upgrade, because it requires a lot of things. It requires, I've been looking through structure changes, how stadiums are built and all that stuff. And it's not going to be an easy job. That is why I had the minister talking some years, I think it a year back, when he was talking about the phase 3. and he was giving it something like a 1 year and a half, but I don't think we have 1 year and a half. We have something like a year, and it really looks a very big job that any company that will be given the job, and it's only Suma that can do the job at the moment, because UPDF, yes, they have what it takes. They've been empowered by government, but I don't think they really have the experience, especially in building and upgrading a stadium. Maybe building a new stadium, they can really do that, but upgrading a stadium really needs a lot of technicalities, and I really think that Suma really can do the job right, and we expect them to do the job right. So for those people that have been asking what really will be done, what to expect, I can give you that briefly of exactly what to expect, especially from the people that are going to be constructing the stadium. So that is an update from what is coming in there. And of course, as soon as we get the structure designs, as soon as we get a confirmation of exactly what will be done in there, I gave you this as a story that came in. But when we have an update to it, I'll be coming back and I'll be explaining more here on Brian Sports. My name is Brian. Stay safe, enjoy your day, and bye-bye.